Hello again, IP5. This is lesson 120. This is your second Friday lesson. So as usual, please make sure that you have already watched the video for lesson 119, the first Friday lesson, and that you have finished the workbook page I gave you as homework, workbook page 112. If you have watched the video for lesson 119, and you have done that homework, you can keep watching and I'll go through the answers. If you've not watched the first lesson today, or you've not finished the homework, please stop the video, do that work, and carry on watching the video when you've finished. Okay, this is the workbook page that I asked you to do as homework in today's first lesson. Workbook page 112. In section A, we need to give the correct contraction for the underlined words. So number 1, I have always liked big cats as much as kinders. For I have, we say I've, I''ve. Number 2, she is reading about lions and tigers now. For she is, she's, she''s. Number 3, she has purchased many posters of leopards and panthers. For she has, it's the same as she is, she's, she''s. Number 4, we are going to see an exhibit about big cats. For we are, we're, we''re. Number 5, I am impressed with their strength and grace. For I am, I'm, I''m. Number 6, I will take pictures of the exhibit. For I will, I'll, I''ll. For number 7, you may come with us if you would like. For you would, you'd, U''d. Number 8, the speaker will discuss the cats that we have read about. For we have, we've, we''ve. And number 9, he will tell about the spotted members of the cat family. For he will, he'll, he''ll. So give yourselves a score out of 9 for section A, please. Section B, there are 5 mistakes that we need to correct. Ladies and gentlemen, the Zeus tour can start if you'll just get in line. You'll did not have an apostrophe. You need an apostrophe between you and LL. First, we'll be visiting the cougars. Wheel was correct. You should not have changed that. They're also known as mountain lions and pumas. There, the apostrophe was in the wrong place. After the R, it should be before the R. So they, apostrophe RE. We can see Ms. Bakila getting ready to feed them. She's holding a pan of raw meat and bones. She's needs an apostrophe, she''s. You'll be surprised to know that wild cougars live in many parts of North and South America. You'll, again, the apostrophe is in the wrong place after the first L, but it needs to go before the first L. U''ll. Let's move to the tigers. Again, the apostrophe was missing. Should be let''s. Now, let we didn't actually do in that list of pronoun contractions that I gave you in class, so don't worry too much if you got that one wrong, but the other 4 you should have got correct. Okay, this lesson, lesson 6, is called double subjects, and that does not mean that sentences should have double subjects. It's actually talking about a mistake that some people make, especially people who are learning English as a second language, such as yourselves. So I hope that you see this and think, oh, that's silly, why would we ever do that? But just want to go over this because it is a mistake that I have seen in people's writing. So I want to make clear that you should not be using double subjects. So we know that sentences need a subject and that we can use subject pronouns instead of a noun in the subject of a sentence. But the problem is, sometimes people make a mistake and they use the noun and the pronoun that refers to it together in the same sentence. So the sentence sounds incorrect. TJ, he is doing his homework. You do not need to say TJ, he. You can say TJ is doing his homework or he is doing his homework. But you do not say TJ, he is doing his homework. Now, when I say that using a double subject is incorrect, I mean using a subject noun and then a pronoun to refer to the same subject pronoun together in the same subject. But it doesn't mean that you can't have two things in a subject. We can even have a noun and a pronoun in a subject as long as they are referring to two different things. If you've got two things in a subject, that is what's called a compound subject. So, a double subject is incorrect. I do not say, prompt he went to the zoo. I say either prompt went to the zoo or he went to the zoo. But I can have two things in a subject, as long as I've got a conjunction. So, Pi went to. Prompt and she saw a giraffe. So, I can say prompt and she refers to Pi. I could even say he and she saw a giraffe, with he referring to prompt and she referring to Pi. Or I could just say they saw a giraffe. But yeah, you can have two things in a subject as long as it's done correctly, as long as the pronoun isn't referring to the same noun in the same subject. Now this next part is maybe going to sound a bit strange compared to what we've been doing in class. When we've been doing these sentences, I've said, change the underlined words to a pronoun, or something like that. But when you're doing your writing, when you're doing a writing topic, you cannot just start a paragraph with a pronoun. You always need to make sure, when you're doing your writing, that it's clear who a pronoun is referring to. So you need to make sure that at the beginning of a paragraph, at the beginning of a story, you use a noun to name your person or your place or your thing, and then later in the paragraph, then you can start using pronouns instead of that noun. But make sure you don't start a paragraph with a pronoun. So, there's two mistakes here. Tam and C went to the cinema, Tam and C watched a movie. That is incorrect because you've named Tam and C twice. Like I told you at the beginning of the chapter, the reason we use pronouns is because it sounds strange if we keep using nouns again and again and again. You should use pronouns to make your writing better. But it's also wrong to say, they went to the cinema, they watched a movie. Forget this first mistake. If I start a paragraph, they went to the cinema, they watched a movie, who went to the cinema? You don't know who we're talking about. So you can't start the paragraph with a pronoun when we don't know who that pronoun is referring to. The best way to write is to say, Tam and C went to the cinema, they watched a movie. So we know who we're talking about from the first sentence, and then later, we're not repeating ourselves, we're using a pronoun. Right, now the exercise that I've got for you in the textbook today is very, very simple. Look at page 226, questions 1 to 10. You need to read the sentence and erase something to make sure that the sentence makes sense. So, my parents, they own a shoe store. There's a word in there that does not belong. And I think I've made it clear in the first slide of this PowerPoint what does not belong there. So please pause the video, press play when you have finished questions 1 to 10. If you have your textbook, all you need to do is cross out the wrong words. If you don't have your textbook, on your paper I want you to write the whole sentence correctly, not including the wrong words. So please pause the video and press play when you've finished up to number 10. Please pause now. Okay, have you finished? If you're finished up to number 10, you can keep watching for the answers. So, should be, my parents own a shoe store. You cross out they, because you don't need to have a double subject, just my parents own a shoe store is fine. You should not have crossed out my parents either, because otherwise they own a shoe store. Who owns a shoe store? We don't know. Number 2, my father waits on customers, cross out he. Number 3, my mother writes our newspaper ads, cross out she. Number 4, people like our store, cross out they. Number 5, my brother and sister work there too, cross out they. Number 6, our shop is open 6 days a week, cross out it. Number 7, the shoes are beautiful, cross out they. Number 8, the window display shows dress shoes, cross out it. Number 9, Uncle Ted helps at the store, cross out he. And number 10, my sister arranges the shoes, cross out she. So I hope you all got 10 out of 10 there. If you didn't get 10 out of 10, it's maybe because you didn't understand what you needed to do. So if you didn't understand what you needed to do in that previous section, I hope now you do know what to do. So you need to do the same thing, questions 11 to 17, read the sentence and remove the word that does not belong there. So, like I said before, if you haven't got your textbook, you're going to have to write the full sentence. If you have got your textbook, just cross out the mistake. So just to show you, Paul Newman and Joanne Woodward, they are married. You don't need this they, it should just be Paul Newman and Joanne Woodward are married. So please press pause and press play when you've done up to number 17. So please pause now. Okay, are you finished? If you are finished, let's keep watching for the answers. Number 11, Paul Newman is an actor. Cross out he. Number 12, See How She Runs was the name of the movie. Cross out it. Number 13, Joanne Woodward starred in that movie. Cross out she. Number 14, Joanne and Paul filmed the movie in Boston. Cross out they. Number 15, the movie was about the Boston Marathon, cross out it. Number 16, Ozzie Nelson and Harriet Nelson worked together too, cross out they. Number 17, the Nelsons had a show on television, cross out they. Although actually for this one, number 17, if you crossed out the Nelsons and had a capital T on they, I would let you have that point, because they also refers to Ozzie Nelson and Harriet Nelson, who were in the previous sentence. So number 17, I'd let you have either of those. Okay, so give yourselves a score out of 7 and a total out of 17. Okay, that is the end of this lesson. Your homework is Workbook Page 114. Now again, like I've said before, at the time of recording this video, I'm not sure if you're going to be in school next week. I think you are supposed to be in school, so if you are meant to be in school, make sure you bring this workbook page to school with you on Monday, the 8th of February. If we are not in school, and if we do have to continue with these video lessons, then I need you to make sure it's finished by Tuesday before you watch lesson 121. So just before we finish, I'm just going to explain what you need to do. Okay, IP5, this is workbook page 114. And it's very similar to the work we've just done. We've got a sentence that includes a double subject. You need to write the sentence correctly. So you need to choose what you need to remove and write the whole sentence on this line. So you've got 10 questions, all the same type of question. Okay, IP5, so that is the end of this lesson. I hope to see you in school next week, but if we can't come to school, we'll carry on with the video lessons. But for now, thank you, IP5. Bye-bye.